Thank you, Chair. I rise to speak on this motion, and I thank Senator Lyons for putting it before this chamber. It's very disturbing to hear the comments that people are making in this chamber. This is absolutely critical right now in this country because it's getting worse, and there is a deep division in this country that we are meant to be uniting as people who represent our constituents and the people of Australia. It's deeply saddening that we have a government who are so connected to the far right, to the fascists, to the Nazis. It's deeply disturbing. I have been at the receiving end of these racists, these violent perpetrators that don't like anybody else but themselves and the whiteness that they bring. When I was 14 and I started my first job, I rocked up to work one day and I had Coon written across the window in Gertrude Street, Fitzroy. When I had my first child in Lakes Entrance, the skate park had a sign graffitied across it that said, "All coons must die." We had the KKK in Paynesville in Victoria. The far right are a threat to everybody in this country. They represent hate, they represent violence, and they don't want to unite this country. They're not part of this country's identity, and nor should they be. And I'm just so surprised that so many people on the other side, and we're going to have the other senator come up after me and blurt out the racist rhetoric that they always do, but it's got to stop. We have children watching. Our children have to be safe. There's children being beaten up in the schoolyards because of racism. Children are not born racist. They learn it, and they're learning it in their homes, and they're learning it from their government. When are we going to truly mature as a nation? When? Stop racism, because racism kills people in this country.
Senator Hanson.
Thank you very much. This is an urgency motion by Senator Lyons. I'm proud to be speaking for the overwhelming majority of Australians who know that being Australian means being part of probably the greatest democracy of the world. But one of the ugliest challenges that's raised its head in recent years is the hypocrisy, lies and rewriting of reality by extremists from the left. Extremists who seek to rewrite our history, lie about our present, deceive our youth and go to any length that seems to shame our great democracy. I've said many times in this place that I am against all extremism. I oppose right-wing extremists and I oppose left-wing extremists. And this motion before us reflects some of the worst thinking of left-wing extremism. Senator Lyons ignores the 200 years of nation-building, ignores the spirit that bonds us and instead recreates reality to drive a stake of division into the heart of our nation and our people by preaching white privilege. Like so many left-wing extremists, she denies truth for political gain and notoriety. There can be few more stunning examples of hypocrisy than the bitter, vitriolic attack by the senator against Australia Day in an ad she paid for on social media recently. Senator Lyons instead calls for Australia Day to be a day of mourning. She could not possibly be more out of step with the overwhelming majority of Australians. If Senator Lyons really believes In white privilege, she'll obviously be happy to immediately hand over her position as Deputy President to Senator Dodson or Senator McCarthy. Senator Lyons' vitriol does Indigenous Australians no service at all. She hides behind the shameful cloak of shallowness, hypocrisy and lies that typify the worst elements of extremism on both sides. It ignores any truth, tolerates no discussion or debate, is dismissive of reason and deserves the widest condemnation from all sides. I will not be supporting this motion.
The question now is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion say aye. Those against say no. I think the noes have it. Division required. A division is required. Ring the bells for 4 minutes.